when it comes to line movement, the chalk is where we're seeing shorter odds from then to now. So if you believe that we will have a rematch in the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles, that has gone from 16-1 down to 14-1. If you're like me and believe that the Bengals can make it to the Super Bowl, if you have Bengals and Eagles, that's gone from 25-1 down to 20-1. And Aaron, I'm the type who believes that even though the best teams from last year are still really, really, really good, and fade the Chiefs at your own expense or fade the Eagles at your own expense, at the same time, there is regression. You have bad injury luck. You have all sorts of things that can occur that prevents Patrick Mahomes from making the Super Bowl or prevents the Eagles from getting back there. And to me, the value in an exact Super Bowl matchup is looking for something that involves just a little bit of creativity. Even though I'm fading the 49ers, maybe there's some value in backing them in some sort of exact matchup, or someone else in the NFC that could be really good. The Detroit Lions, I know, have been bet on a good bit, and so maybe a Lions exact Super Bowl matchup, maybe there's some value there as well. But when you look at this market, what's something that stands out to you?
I might just wait on this. I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I hate to say it's a sucker bet, but it kind of is. I mean, predicting the two teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl is like, good luck. Have fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can be that sucker from time to time. I feel like when the season starts, I have to do this with some sort of a combination. And what I do, and doesn't mean it's right, it's just what I do, is I typically end up taking a stand on a team and just okay, which conference is wide open? Probably avoid that, taking a stand on the other side, and then mixing and matching a little bit. So if I were to do that, where would I go? Well, I think the list of teams, even though it's a wide open conference, that I think can make the Super Bowl from the NFC is shorter than the list in the AFC. Now, we all know that the AFC is better. They have better quarterback play, all that. And that's the reason there are more teams that I believe that can get there. So if we're coming up with a list of teams from the NFC that can make the Super Bowl, how deep is that list? How many teams after the Eagles do we believe can make it? It's not very deep, right? So I'd be more willing to take a stand on one of those teams and then kind of mix and match on, some different possible outcomes out of the AFC. What's the better bet? The two teams that are going to meet in the Super Bowl, or do you take one team to win? Because what's the difference in odds? I'm not sitting here trying to say that the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl right now, but I have the numbers in front of me because I was looking at their matchups, right? So is it a better bet to take Cowboys, Jacksonville in the Super Bowl at 100, or if they're in there, which team's probably favored? My guess is the Cowboys, but it depends what happens this season, health, all that stuff. But my point is, Cowboys to beat the Jaguars is 250, but the two of them to meet is 100. Wouldn't you just take Cowboys, take that bigger number?
Yeah.
You're bringing up a good point, because let's take the lazy way out and say that it's a coin flip. If it really is a 50-50 proposition, do you want to flip that coin one more time? Is it worth it in terms of expected value at the end of it?
Yeah. Easy to hedge, but sure.
Like, is it better to just go all the way? Because, regardless of whatever the Super Bowl matchup is, the spread wouldn't be any much more than, 3? If you're talking about two really good teams, yeah, you're not going to get anything too lopsided. Even though we believe in the AFC way more than the NFC, that NFC team is going to be really good. So to expect a massive spread, I don't think is, too believable. It'll be a small spread, and so just say it's a 50-50 proposition. Speaking of injuries, Dodgers pitching rotation that has been jeopardized. Dustin May is undergoing season-ending surgery to repair a flexor tendon in his right elbow. He missed much of the 2021 and 2022 seasons after undergoing Tommy John surgery. So another major setback for Dustin May, which is unfortunate. Clayton Kershaw is on the 15-day IL with left shoulder soreness, retroactive to June 30th. This was a ball club that really couldn't afford to have too many more pitching injuries. And now we've got one huge one with Dustin May and a setback with Clayton Kershaw. I look at this, guys, and say the NL West is more wide open than perhaps we really considered it.
Yeah, and Dustin May is a guy that this is 5 years now, and he hasn't made more than 10 starts in a season. Or I don't think he's hit that 10 mark, or more than 10. So not a huge surprise there, and we've seen this in the past, and this is what happens with pitchers. And you're right. So the NL West, the Dodgers have been the favorite throughout, even though they have not been sitting in first place. But here's the thing. The team below them, that's right behind the Dodgers in the standings, nope. Giants are playing some awful baseball right now. They cannot hit for anything. And they happen to be by far the most popular pick in Survivor. I'm one of them, hand up, that took them and not very happy with their 0-2 start to the week. There's Arizona sitting there with the 2.5 game lead, and the Dodgers with all these injuries in the rotation.
Now, I'm not a big brunch guy, but I was roped into brunch, and it was this really interesting place in LA where you had these really tiny greenhouses that were no bigger than, say, doll houses. But you climb in, you sit down, and then, you're with, 2 or 3 other people. And there was a pitcher of mimosas. And, I never have mimosas in the morning. That's just not my thing. But I did, and I was exhausted after just a couple of glasses. Like, is something wrong with me?
What do you mean?
Because I had just a couple of glasses. I had cold brew with it, but after the brunch was over, I'm like, I want to sleep for the next 6 hours.
You don't think that had anything to do with the food?
No, I had a salad.
A salad? This is outrageous.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
why
the
you were
problem. Maybe you
tired.
didn't have enough in your system, and the alcohol
There's
just
no base.
perhaps dehydrated too. Yeah. Because sometimes I think mimosas give me a nice little vibe of energy. Like, obvious, I like it. I think it's refreshing. I love mimosas.
So pick me up.
All right, it was salad and a poached egg, but that was about the extent of it.
Okay, that's
Salad
disappointing.
and a poached
Oh, well,
egg.
thank God you mentioned the poached egg. I was really worried about you.
I was.
Any bread?
I don't. How
Not
do you go to
really.
brunch and get a
They
salad?
have carbs in LA.
No, that's the thing.
They have 2 carbs, 2 whole carbs. Yes.
Yes, that's it. Man, that's okay.
We have to split it among a couple million people.
I might drink a mimosa next segment. I've got some ready to go in the fridge.